Hello friends, my name is Theo, and today in this exciting Meissner Media tutorial, we're going to be taking another viewer request. This is a very timely one, because it is for a House of Cards look. And since Season 3 of House of Cards just came out, let's, pay homage to that. And open up Davinci Resolve and get started. So here is this clip of me doing this typical political gesture. As you can see, all politicians do this, if you didn't know. I shot this in RAW on my Blackmagic Cinema camera and lit it up kind of House of Cardsy with this sort of edge light. This monitor bleed probably isn't as House of Cardsy, but whatever. Looks all right. So the first thing we're going to do is go over to our camera raw tab and change this to decode using clip, and then change our white balance to custom because my white balance is a little bit chilly here, and our color space to BMD film. So this is an inside shot even though it's being lit by daylight. So we're going to make it warm-ish. So just going to bring our color temperature up a little bit, not really too far since we don't have a very good reference yet. Then the next thing we're going to do is bring our shadows up just a smidgen. I'm sure they actually light it in the show so their shadows have some detail, but mine don't. And I'm also wearing a completely black shirt, which wasn't a great choice set design wise, but this is for a tutorial, so the fact that I even filmed stuff for it is a bonus. Then we're going to bring our mid-tone detail up a good bit because it's always a really sort of sharp, gritty look going on. Next thing we're going to do is hop over to our color wheels and see what we can get going. We'll bring our saturation up a good bit so we can see what's going on. We'll probably bring it down from there a little bit later on. We'll bring our lift down, our gamma way down. We might even bring our lift back up. Yeah, bring our gamma way down. Gain up just a little bit. House of Cards isn't super bright, so this is looking pretty good. We're going to make it a little bit exaggerated, sort of dark and gritty look. That's starting to get somewhere. We're going to isolate my face later on because at least in Season 2 of House of Cards, there's a lot of secondaries going on, which I thought were really cool. I haven't watched much of Season 3 yet, so no spoilers. This is still looking a little bit chilly for me, so let's hop back over to our RAW tab and bring our color temperature up even further. If you're not shooting RAW, then just shoot it with your white balance a little bit on the warm side. So now my skin tones are looking a little bit orangey. So we'll go over to our curves and go to hue versus saturation and make a couple points on here. It's looking good. And bring our sort of reds and yellows down just a little bit. In the warmer shots, reds and yellows are kind of orangey red yellow is most of what is going on in there. It's a very muted sort of thing. So right now we're a little bit loud, I think. But whenever we get there, we'll mute stuff down a little bit further. Another thing in House of Cards is the highlights and shadows are always very clean. So we'll go over to our luminance versus saturation and make a couple points and just make our shadows and highlights all the way clean. Maybe even make these in a little bit further because it's not a particularly saturated show, especially on the inside scenes. So yeah, now we're getting somewhere. That's starting to look good. We'll also bring our lift down just a smidgen more because the blacks are pretty deep in this show. We just don't want to lose too much of our detail. Another thing that they do in this is make their shadows just an ounce cool. I wouldn't even call them blue. I just say cool. So go over to our RGB curves and make sure that they are unganged. Then we will just add a smidgen of blue, just a little bit to the shadows. And see, that's too much already. So we can dial this back with the intensity tab just a little bit. And then we'll take away a little bit of reds from the whole image and from the shadows, and then bring that back. So real subtle, but it's starting to get there. Might even warm it up even further. That's starting to look good. The next thing I will do is go back into our RGB curves. Just add a hint of boost on our highlights, just like that. Down a little bit, just to give it a little bit of that extra grit. And then I'll hit Alt-S and add another corrector node. And in here, we will add a circle qualifier, pop that in there, and just match this up to good old Theo's face. Give it a little bit of softness. Disable all of our grades so it will track a little bit faster and track it backwards and forwards. Great. Now re-enable all of our grades and we'll go back over to our color wheels. Bring our gamma up a good bit and then our lift down. And we'll have those fight each other for a bit and even bring our gain up a little bit. And when I turn off this qualifier, you can see before and after. I might even pop this down just a little bit. Yeah, matches a little bit better. You see, it really gives it that sort of extra House of Cards grit that's going on. And if that's too much for you, you can always just dial it back over in here. I think that's looking pretty good. Then we'll also sharpen this up a bit, which is another thing that they did a lot in Season 2. In Season 2, they didn't use Resolve. They used a program called Baselight, but I've never used Baselight, so we're going to do this in Resolve. But anyway, it was a lot of that sort of sharpening up the faces, which is cool. It's a cool look. I dig it. It just takes more time. And then we'll also add another node in parallel and make a bit of a vignette. There's not too much vignette action going on in House of Cards that I've seen. Maybe whenever I watch Season 3, I will notice a bunch more. But for now, we're just going to add one because the lighting is a little bit not ideal behind me. I want it a little bit darker. So invert this guy and bring our gamma down just a smidgen. Now we get a little bit more focus going on in our image. Let's bring that up and see. I sort of want the whole image to be a little bit darker. So bring our gamma down, gain down some too. And then it's still looking just a little bit saturated. So I'm going to bring a little bit too saturated, I should say. So I'll bring this down a nice little bit. I'd say that looks pretty House of Cardsy. I kind of want this guy to be back up a little bit more dramatic. And we'll see before and after. We can make our shadows just an ounce chillier. Just kind of tweaking it around. Because tweaking is fun. It's like twerking for colorists. Yeah. Oop. Let's make my face a little bit purple. And bring this guy down. Not that much. And I'd say that's still maybe even a little bit bright. So we'll bring our gain back down some. Maybe even our gamma up. There we go. That's more what I was looking for. Bringing that gain down really did it for us. All right, so now I think that looks pretty House of Cardsy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. No matter what, leave your feedback down in the comments below. Don't include any spoilers because I will not be reading any of the comments until I'm done with House of Cards Season 3. So if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the Meisner Media YouTube channel. If you want even more Meisner Media stuff, go check out links for social media and our website down in the description below. While you're on your various social platforms checking out Meisner Media stuff, be sure to share this video with your friends because I'm sure they're all watching House of Cards as well and would love to know how to make their films look a little bit more like House of Cards. Once again, I've been Theo with Meisner Media. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.